Hey folks, this is BestInSlot with a very special mod spotlight for Jurassic World Evolution. I was actually going to take today off, but this mod is so very cool that I had to show you guys right away. This is made by the Dandy Man. I will link it down below, of course. And if you're like me, you've been sitting there, you've been looking at a big old pool of water, as you do. And you're thinking, you know what, I need a viewing area for this. But the normal viewing area doesn't really look aquatic appropriate. The Dandy Man is here to save the day. So, if you download and install this mod, which I'll of course link down below, your viewing gallery, when placed, instead turns into the Mosasaurus viewing area from Jurassic World, the film. Very, very, very cool. And we can kind of like stagger these together if we want. Look, get that lined up nicely like so. And we'll let that build up, but it actually does function entirely as a viewing area. It actually works as a viewing area. You can plop it down, your guests will come in and stand in it, you can hop in yourself and look through the viewing area. For a long time now, people have been trying to rebuild the original Jurassic World in its heyday in Jurassic World Evolution. And the Mosasaurus Paddock at the south side of the island has always been the problem child. Most other things you can kind of get somewhat there, especially with mods, but the Mosasaurus has always been an issue. No longer, because look at this absolute beauty, perfectly realised, really well made, and more importantly, just integrated into the game. It's not just there as a decorative object, which would have been the easy thing to do, and actually what I thought was going to happen. We've known about the Dandy Man working on this for a long time now. I thought it would just be a placeable decoration, but no, it is a fully fledged viewing area thing. If I click this and click show view, bam, there we are. We are standing in the Mosasaurus Paddock. We've got the benches, we've got the railing and everything. It's very, very cool. It's got the glass roof at the top curving over, and you can kind of like chain them together and make a Mosasaurus habitat. How awesome is that? I really want to see some really cool Jurassic World recreations using this stuff. Now, it is worth mentioning, there is a slight caveat. At this point in time, it does, as I say, replace the viewing gallery. You won't have access to the original viewing gallery if you want to use this. Hopefully that's something that can get sorted down the line. I believe it is possible-ish. So hopefully that's something we can change up in the future. But still, if you're doing a Jurassic World recreation, or you're just really in the mood for, oh, look how close that is. Oof, baby. Or you're really in the mood for a, aquatic themed park or something, this would be a very good idea. Now, just to showcase how this works, we're going to nip back, so slow. We're going to nip over here. Here's one I built earlier. So I put together like a little cheapo park. Where's my Mosasaurus gone? There's a Mosasaurus in here somewhere. Yep, there it is. And just to show that if you angle this correctly, you can make this really nice gradual curve here where they kind of cross over in the middle, so they don't even look like separate objects. As long as you get that curve correct, you can actually make it so they look like they're all connected in one big Mosasaurus viewing area stand, which is awesome. You would want the curve to probably be a little sharper than this if you're going to recreate Jurassic World, and you do need some at the sides, but it's just kind of showing you guys how you could use this thing. And as you can see, look, people, human, this man here, George. Well, not George, we already have a George. Bloody green screen. Billy Bob. Hello, Billy Bob. How you doing? How you living? Billy Bob's living large. So yeah, your guests, that's why I kind of like finished the park off. Your guests will come here and stand in here and, look out into the Mosasaurus Paddock. This one has 2 guests. How cool is that? How amazingly awesome is that? Now, unfortunately, my Mosasaurus Paddock is a little bit shallow for the Mosasaurus. But you see, look at that! Very cool! So the Mosasaurus is slightly floating. This, by the way, is the digital duck Mosasaurus, which is my personal favourite of the bunch. I think if you want a Jurassic World looking Mosasaurus, then digital duck modeling's Mosasaurus is the one to use. Again, I will link this down below, but this does replace your Diplodocus. In a world where we have lots of new things, it's time to go back a little bit to the world of replacements, but it is very, very cool looking. And if you wanted to push the boat out a little bit, you could do that as well. If you pick any map that has a natural water formation already built into it, like Tucano, or like most of them really, you can come and ignore that. You can instead build on an area like this. Now, unfortunately, this is very dark water, so it's not necessarily the best example. But if I raise this land up a little bit, to about there. There we go, look at that! Awesome! Oh, very cool. That's very cool. So because the island already has its own water supply, using the expanded map mod, which we've talked about in the past, you can sink the ground below that water to a lower level. And then you put the viewing area in front of it, and it will look like a Mosa is sort of half in, half out of the water. The water on some of the other places looks deeper than this as well. Not deeper, more clear. You can see through it easier. Whereas Tucano has very murky water, so you could even get it looking better than this, but proof of point, folks. Proof of point? Words aren't good today. Evidence! Goodness in front of you. It's very, 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 very cool. Shout out to Dead Dandy Man. Obviously, you could make it a little prettier than this. Shout out to Dead Dandy Man. Shout out again to Digital Duck Modelling. Absolutely fantastic mod. Cannot wait to see what people come up with this. And remember, just when you're placing it, just... You know, you're going to get the gap at the back. Although you can kind of cross it over. But if you wanted like a nice sharper curve, you could do that and still have it match up at the front, which, let's be honest, is the... How cool does that look? It's really good. Yeah, I'm blown away. Great stuff. Big shout out to both of the mod makers, but they're Dandy Man for this in particular that we're highlighting today. Are you excited about this? Is there anything in particular you'd like to see me build with it? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'm not even going to drag this video out to 8 minutes. That's how much I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Throw me a like though if you did enjoy this video and you want to see a little bit more of this kind of stuff. And I'll see you lovely folks in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.
Reaching out.